This week's astrology is just wild. But first, because we are in Pisces season, I bring you some healing music and then we will dive into the astrology. There's a giant learning to take it slow. There is a giant learning to go with the flow. There's a giant learning to trust a path. This is what Pisces season is all about. Tune into the waters and listen deep. Listen deeply. Okay, this was just a little taste. Now astrology. So what to say about this week? After all this intensity of Mars and Uranus and the square, because squares are tensions. So after, just a moment, yeah, now I'm ready. After this big tension between actions to unexpected events and deliberation, that remember, it's always from the in to the out. So it's always from the individual to the collective. So yes, you see it in the collective and tension is going wild, of course. Uranus is steering the pot. But always remember to listen to this first for yourself. Because it's always from the in to the out. There is no other way. So yeah, this tension, and also yesterday there was a conjunction between Venus and Mercury, and remember that Mercury is retrograde, so that was also another thing from last week. So what is this? What is this Mercury about? Mercury retrograde in Pisces and also the conjunction with Venus. So we know that when Mercury is retrograde, is going backwards, not really going backwards, but we have that illusion that is going backwards. So it represents a moment of standing still. It represents a moment of a pause, that we go slow, that we go more inwards. When we talk about Mercury, we talk about communication, we talk about messages, we talk about movements, interactions, passing information. When we talk about Pisces, we talk about dreams, we talk about the subconscious, we talk about imagination, we talk about beliefs, okay? So Mercury retrograde in Pisces is definitely a revision period about our beliefs, about the programs that are running in our mind, about also how we treat ourselves, our boundaries, because Pisces is also about boundaries. And it's also the closing of a cycle. So Mercury retrograde will finish right before the equinox that marks the beginning of a new year. So this is super symbolic. What else to say about this that is big? So now the moon is in Leo, so it's all fire up. So whoever has Leo placements might be feeling like, ooh, I'm super energized with a lot of fire. Yes, it's a lot of fire, so it needs a lot of movement. So just let's put it out, because that's how the tension releases a little bit. But then on Tuesday, we have the big full moon and eclipse in Virgo. Why is this so important? Okay, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Yep. So eclipses are also unexpected, bring unexpected events, and full moons bring closure, bring completion, bring intensity in a way, because it's like the peak. So it brings a peak. This axis Virgo Pisces has been worked in the last 2 years with eclipses, so it has been moving this energy. And now again, And now that the ruler of this moon is retrograde in Pisces, which is its opposite, it means, for one, that is a very internal moment. That is really a moment of no movement. Like the less movement, the better. The less internal, the more internal, the better. The more you take it slow, the better. Pisces, Virgo is all about also about health and mental health. So tuning into your own health and mental health is super important during this full moon and eclipse. And also, Virgo represents the practical, the practicalities of life, the routines, the organization, the details. So the making things happen on a practical level, physical reality. Pisces is all about the dream. It's all about looking from a higher perspective. It's all about the feeling, it's all about the imagination. So the axis of manifestation is this one, because it starts in the imagination of the of the unconscious, the subconscious in this case, and then manifests into Virgo, which is the reality, which is the actions or the steps we take on a practical level to make it happen. So of course you can check where Virgo and Pisces is in your chart, because this will give you like a lot of extra information of what is being moved. But when we think about the ruler of this moon, so remember, full moon, usually the sun is illuminating, in this case, the Pisces. So the sun is in Pisces, meaning in the imagination. The focus is in our imagination, the focus is in our mental health, the focus is in our beliefs, the focus is in our inspiration, in our connection to the divine, and also in our relationships as humans. And is calling us for unconditional love, is calling us for forgiveness. This is also Pisces traits. And the, let's say, the lack or the dark is the moon. So the dark is represented by the moon. So what is in the dark? It's the practicalities of life, it's the organization, it's the details. So let's say that we are talking about something you want to make happen, or your dream. If you are too much in the Pisces, you are too much in the dream. So maybe it's a time to take action, physical action, to take some practical steps to prepare your life, to prepare the details, take care of the details. So this is things about the moon, full moon in Virgo. Of course, this can be looked in many ways. So also, if it's about your health, it can also call you to go inwards, to check the energetic level. Or if you are too much on the energetic level, maybe take care of the physical, because maybe the physicality is calling you more right now. What happens also in this axis Virgo Pisces, it's that in Pisces in Virgo we tend to be judgmental, because we care so much about the details, and sometimes we have a hard time processing information and letting go. So you'll see that in people that carry a lot of Virgo energy, sometimes there is a tendency to suppress and to crystallize and to accumulate. So also what has been crystallized can now come to the surface, and we can release it through the Pisces, which is bringing forgiveness, which is with healing energy, with frequencies, with music, with expression, with romance, with poetry. This is a beautiful way to look at it, but just also check that if you are having a problem physical, like physical issue, maybe the cause it's energetic, maybe it's some belief that you have, or maybe it's some place where you are not being forgiven or forgiving towards yourself. It can be in many different ways, but always like we must go back to our subconscious, because that's where the answers lie. This is like the tip of the iceberg. So this is just one thing about this week. But then, yeah, remembering that it's not a moment to start new things. So it's more a moment to go inwards. So specifically this full moon being ruled by Mercury, which is retrograde, can cause lots of confusion, can cause communication problems, because Pisces is also not so clear. So then, like, when the full moon is ruled by an unclear energy that sometimes has fog and possibilities, and you don't really know, it can get even more tricky. So that's the big reminder. breathe, breathe deeply, like go inwards, protect your space, protect your energy. Don't do too much. Don't do unnecessary movements. The ones you have to do, do it, but don't overdo it because it can be even more exhausting. So, also, Pisces, Mars will enter Pisces on the 2nd, so tomorrow, basically. So, another energy in Pisces. So, the waters are really calling us. It's really about flowing, it's really about more sensitive parts of ourselves. And Venus will sextile Uranus on the 4th. So, what does this mean? Venus will still be in Pisces. So, Uranus is unexpected, remember. And when we talk about the sextile, we talk about a flow, a gentle flow of energy in between these two forces. Whenever there is relationships between Venus and Uranus, something unexpected happens because Uranus brings unexpectedness. So it could be like some new relationship. It could be some new dynamic that comes up in your relationships. And with Venus in Pisces, it's important to be aware of the illusion because Pisces is the dream. So we can get very much caught on the fantasy. So always good to go to the Virgo, which is the practical. But yeah, at the same time, like being very aware of your beliefs, being very aware of your programs, it's what will help you to go through all these movements. And in the end, like I would not say don't trust whatever comes now, but be be aware. Yeah, be aware because it's a moment of confusion, of mixed signals. So if you are not sure, just wait. That's also a good idea. And the lights just went off. How symbolic this is. So yeah, but just finishing. Then we will finish the week with Venus entering Aries. So new energy already feeling the new year coming. Because she will enter Aries, she will conjunct Neptune and then Saturn. So Saturday and Sunday, there is a conjunction between both. Here we might be, I want to start like something new, like be oof, impulsed. So breathe again because Mercury is still retrograde. So awareness is very important. And we finish the week with the moon in Scorpio. So if things were already intense, they will be even more intense. And especially if you have Scorpio placements, you know what I'm talking about. It's intense. So just connect with the feels, meditate, breathe, sing, write poetry, flow, be by the waters, and be patient. So patience is a key for this moment. Okay. So yeah, I would very much appreciate if you support my work, if you like, if you subscribe, if you share it with your friends. That will really be top notch. See you soon.